Thank you. Stop it. Stop it. You guys, stop it. Oh, hang on, I forgot to do the rudimentary wheel up to celebrate the end of the whole EP. Hey, that actually sounded nice, didn't it?
It did. Savage.
Oh, we ready to what? We ready to do this or what, Shane?
Conversation. I have a few questions for you, Finch.
Oh no.
So the last line we heard on the project there.
What's it?
The last line that we heard on Bookies Pens and Loose Ends.
That's the one?
The last line we heard is, I'm trying to be like Redzer, but the public ain't feeling it. Where'd that bar come from?
Well, like, as an Irish hip-hop artist, I find it, you know, it would be very difficult to not be influenced by Redzer.
That's true.
So, it's not a case of trying to be the next Redzer, but as you can tell by the tint of my beard, red, trying to rap, so like kind of like Redzer, not probably got the same amount of appeal as Redzer. So I'm trying my very best, but you know, there's only so much you can do.
That's it. So first of all, how's it going, Adam? You all good? Thanks everybody for coming out first and foremost. This is, our first solo event, so your support was really appreciated. So we're going to have a quick conversation with Finch.
Oh, yeah?
So what did we think of Bookies, Pens and Loose Ends?
You're liars and blackguards. But thank you.
So the first interview that we did on our podcast was done by the man here, Jamie.
Yeah, you wouldn't go near me. You wouldn't go near me. So you had to get one of your cronies on the fucking scene.
And at the time, you just nearly celebrated your first kind of year as a hip hop artist, and we're coming up to nearly the second year of that now. So I suppose, what was the spark to first pick up the pen?
Well, like, I had said for ages that, you know, I wanted to rap. And everybody was like, you're not going to fucking do it. Like, you're just a liar. And I was, for several years, just a liar. And then that summer, 2017, I was, great. It was a great year. It was a great year. I just turned 21 and was going into my final year of college. Had just... I just quit my job in the Spar. I allude to it in that last song. I was like, oh fuck it, it'd be easier if I was just back in the Spar, not doing any of this shit. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. That was the spark. It was just me consistently lying, and then just saying, well, I can't really lie for my whole life. That's not a good look. And then, to be honest, it was just kind of a perfect storm, in that everything happened in a kind of span of a couple of weeks. So I was like, fuck it, what's the worst that can happen? I can release a song, it's terrible, people might slag me for a while, but that'll be it.
Yeah.
And it was terrible, but they didn't slag me. I don't know what the crack was with that.
How many songs do you think it was, or how long were you experimenting then before MIXVAPE finally dropped?
Oh, well, MIXVAPE was sort of like, it was an idea for, I think, the guts of about 6 years beforehand. And in terms of actually like going out and releasing that whole project, that took like about 10 months of just kind of going through songs and picking out which ones. So I ended up with like 11, I think, on that project, and it was good to get something out, and then you kind of look back on it in a month afterwards, and you're like, Jesus, what the fuck was I thinking releasing that yoke? Like, but I think there was about like 5 or 6 songs that were left kind of on the cutting room floor. I didn't use them, but like eventually I was like, it's time to release this. Like, I've been waiting on it I've been sitting on it for too long. At that stage. There's 10 months of just teasing stuff out, and like some songs hit, some songs didn't, but it was all right. Like,
I get you. And in terms of like you said there, it was an idea for about 6 years. What would you say were the barriers to entry at that time? Was there still that kind of like stigma, obviously, about proclaiming yourself as a rapper at that time? Obviously now it's kind of become a whole thing here, but
yeah, like definitely that plays into it always. Even still now, it's like, oh, you're a rapper, are you? Like, even like now it's become far more commonplace, and that's great. Like, but you end up, I think the barrier was just me, really. Like, just kind of thinking, even in and of myself, that I couldn't do it, and not having the kind of confidence to go out, put myself out there. So I ended up. So it was just like it genuinely was a case of why not, and that's why I did it, and that's why that project came out, and that's why it was called that as well. Like I couldn't like the premise of it. Like I think maybe one song that I did with Arbu like kind of plays into that. Like kind of plays into that idea of like smokers or jokers. Like the rest of it is just me shining on, like, and there's nothing about smoking, nothing about vaping, nothing about mixing, like. But I had to call it that. It's been the name of my first project for 6 years, so I had to be like, fuck it, we just call it, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And so, you know, we've heard the new project there, and one thing just kind of circling back to when you would have first started, was there anything in particular from your background or your life that was sort of fundamental to the music that you think that you kind of had to speak about in it?
Well, like I had always sort of thought about when I was writing, I had to write, obviously, true to yourself. That's kind of the most important thing. It's hip hop. You can't sort of shy away from being like real or keeping it real. But I always thought, like, I was always influenced by sort of the people around me, where I live. Like, so, like, Drimnagh is such a prevalent like theme because that's all I know. Like, I don't know anywhere else, and you know, you're always told write about what you know. And I don't know a lot of things, Shane. So I've got a very fucking small amount of things I can write.
You learned on the podcast you know French, though.
I know French.
Well, some words. Because of the journalism degree.
Like boulangerie and like fucking I don't know any boxy French. I can't speak French. Yeah. I let the funky music do the talking. That's one time to the girls allowed man them. Or gal them. Yeah.
And so obviously your music is often described in different kind of ways of being sort of laid back flows over beats and kind of rhyming about current affairs, obscure football references, the death of the 12.5 gram Amber Leaf pouch, different things like that. But I suppose, how would you classify your sound at the moment? Has it evolved on the new project?
Yeah, it's kind of... Like, I think the sound has absolutely evolved. Obviously, you got Seabass over there chilling in the fucking shadows. We got Ryan. Come up here, baby.
Come on.
Give it up for Seabass, everybody. Give it up for Seabass.
Producer in the building.
You sit right here, son. You sit right here. Okay. Mind the point. Come on yourself. Seabass produced 4 of the songs on Bookies Pens and Loose Ends. The man is a real G. It's a real G. And some fella called Marcus Woods produced the other one, but we don't need to talk about him. Exactly. Foundation mats. But I think it certainly evolved. Like the sounds that Seabass producing, that Ryan are producing, it's fucking like, it's hard not to feed into that and try and improve yourself. In terms of actual like themes of the songs, they kind of just like the EP is kind of where I was about 6 months ago. Like I was kind of like, what? Hey,
no questions anymore. Hey. Off the books.
It was where I was at that time, and sort of not really feeling myself, not really feeling music as a whole. And jeez, what kind of shit show are you running here?
Fumbling.
Crumbling. So it was kind of where I was, and I was kind of contemplating either like stopping it and like trying something else, or like, and that's the music, but that's kind of like spent 4 years of college, couldn't get a job for the life of me. As soon as I start recording this EP, get a job in the industry I wanted, so the whole fucking EP's a lie. I'm back lying again, Shane. Fuck's sake.
Endless cycle.
It was quite interesting though in terms of the progression of the music compared to your lyrics, because when we started with MIXVAPE and I sent you earlier tracks, it was just a meme. We were making a meme.
Oh yeah.
And then with the progression of this album, we wanted to make it, or the EP, we wanted to make it a little bit more serious, I think, while keeping the playful nature of FYNCH's witticisms. So I think with the music, with myself and Woodsy, we did well with the kind of keeping it more mature, whereas also playing into the meme art, you know?
Yeah, like I there's always a case of like not taking yourself too seriously, and like what I ended up doing on this was kind of hating myself for a small aspect of it. So I kind of just went the whole next level. But that was always the plan. I think when we were doing MIXVAPE, me and Seabass, it was just kind of songs for song's sake, and it was like, okay, we'll do this tune, grand. And then when we sat down to do this one, we had a sort of distinct plan of like, well, I kind of want to talk about something. I kind of want, if somebody listens to it, to at least like not learn anything, because I don't really think you learn anything from it, but at least go into it and be like, oh, jeez, I didn't know he was feeling like that at that particular time, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and then kind of circling back then, so you obviously co-founded Burner Records
Yes, sir.
in the last little bit, and you lads have been absolutely unstoppable. Jake here is obviously on the new Tebby Rex album that you'll hear about later from Kale and Coffee as well, and then Marcus Woods obviously on Global Warming. So the crew is doing amazing things, and you have that gig with Mick Pyro coming up.
Yeah, fucking hell, that's a mad thing. Like obviously Mick was on Sold Out, trying to run up the Republic of Loose Greatest Hits album that was released. And obviously him and Nick must have had a whale of a time, because Nick was out there. Nick's a sly bastard. He's always out networking, you know, fucking low key. So Mick hit us up, and you can't, like, it's Mick Pyro. Like, it's the funk master flame himself. You can't say no to that. Like, so as soon as we heard that, we were like, absolutely jump all over it. Whatever he needs, like, whatever he needs. A bouncy castle, fucker, he has it. Like, whatever. He's one of our idols. He's one of, he's a musician, and the Loose are a band that you can't help but be inspired by. If you're making music in Ireland today, chances are you are influenced in one way or another by the Loose. So it's fucking no-brainer to do that gig. Like, it's amazing.
Exactly. No, it's phenomenal to see. But was there any nerves kind of setting up Burner Records, like in the early days of it, or when this your kind of recordings disbanded at that initial stage?
Yeah, we didn't know what, to be honest, we didn't know what we were gonna do. Like, me and Marcus obviously were with District, and then that was kind of being phased out slowly but surely. Like, so New Sense, like, there was a time when Leo Miyagi, Mythal Grim, obviously New Sense that are playing tonight, they were all on it. We were all vibing off each other, and then it slowly but surely kind of dwindled, and then it ended up just me and Ryan, and like, we kind of knew the writing was on the wall. Like, thank God, like, we had done the Shebri EP launch in the Bernard Shaw for Ryan, but it had me, it had Arbu, had Sick Nanley, had Local Boy, and then from there we just kind of stayed in the group chat, like. So then when push came to shove, and we eventually were like, oh, I think this is gonna kettle, we were just kind of like, why don't we do it ourselves? Like, you know, you look at the amount of labels that are doing great things around the country, like. You look at Anomaly, you look at Softboy, you look at House Zoo, like, all those are doing like unbelievable jobs. And you've got to take inspiration from your peers. I feel as though, like, that's of like utmost importance, because like, it's not a case of why can't, if he's doing it, why can't I do it? But it's more so a case of, like, just look at what they're doing. Like, that's putting on for your city. It's putting on for the lads. It's putting on for your peer group, and it's something that you can't help but sort of be infatuated by and want to get involved with.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's phenomenal to see you guys doing your thing out there. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's the do-it-yourself kind of aspect that Ireland has really shown its own against kind of like the UK and the US, and hopefully we'll get there at some stage.
Yeah, well, fucking nobody's gonna, like, especially in this clip, like, nobody's gonna do it for you. Like, like, you're genuinely forced to do it yourself. Like, it's not like labels are looking out, like, looking for ciphers in Stephen's Green, like, trying to find the next big rapper. Like, you're gonna have to go and do your time, and then eventually you might be able to get to a stage where, like, you can get support slots just off your own back. You can do all that, because, like, fuck knows. Oh yeah. Thanks. But it's dead right though. I mean, fuck it. Like, Universal, they don't care about the everyman. Like, if they're here tonight though, I'm available. Like, they don't. So, like, you're forced, especially in Ireland. Ireland's so small. Like, you can't help but just do it yourself, because you never know how big you're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly. So, can you help but feel optimistic for Irish hip hop right now? Where do you think it's kind of residing at the moment?
Oh, it's brilliant, like. But the problem is that you can't be lax about it. You gotta consistently strive for improvement and get better. Like you look at, like every release that comes out seems to be going stronger and stronger. Like you look at when
each other.
yeah, exactly. Like you look, start back from Roos and Gano winning Choice Music and then going from there. But you can't like so even around then when they won Choice Music Prize, it was like, oh, in 5 years, Irish hip hop is gonna be fucking like #1 in the poxy world. It's like it's not gonna happen like that. Like we're nearly 5 years up there. Where are we now? Like we're still nowhere near where I think we should be because there's a lot of talented people, musicians, producers, sort of even what User are doing, what District are doing, what Mapfield are doing. Like it has to be. It is a community, and everybody needs to strive for one common goal. We're in a great place. Don't get me wrong, but there comes a time when we need to keep consistently getting better. We can't go, oh Jesus, aren't we great, and just sit back and relax. Like you got to go, all right, this EP is going to come out, and in about 3 weeks' time, I'll be hitting up Seabaz and be like, all right, next one, let's go. Because you have to be like that. You have to have an insatiable desire to get better, or else you'll just fucking fall flat in your face.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. So could circle back to something that you did last year. Is it Argo, or Argot?
Argos, it's Argot, but I'm a fucking idiot and can't. I don't know how to pronounce words.
But you're kind of dealing with issues like your accent and your upbringing here and how it's kind of being degraded in this country. I suppose, do you kind of pay attention to the kind of politics around that in terms of hip hop and then kind of in the country as well?
Yeah, you can't like. It's thrown in your face and you can't help avoiding it. And that was like with that and spoken word as a whole, like you can't just go braggadocious rap shit. It's pointless then. It's you going a cappella and being really fucking slow at rapping. Like it's dirt. So for like actual spoken word, like I wanted to just at least say something, at least try to convey a message about like how I feel my accent is kind of looked upon by certain sections. Obviously, like most people don't give a fuck because like I'm one of them. I don't give a fuck about where you're from. Don't give a fuck like what you sound like. You sound grand, sweet. We keep it moving. Like, but certain people just can't see past that. They can't see past like I have a chipped tooth. They're like, he's a scumbag. He's from Drimnagh. He's a scumbag. Look at him. He's a scumbag. Like all these things. Like, so you end up. So I wanted to be like, hey, no, fuck yous. Like I think I'm relatively alright. Like I'm a serviceable human being.
Of course.
You know? Yes. I truly am a serviceable human being. But I looked at it and I was like, fucking, you're the serviceable human beings. But I thought, like, what makes you better than everybody else? Look at all these great people that came from these areas, these places that sounded just like me, sounded just like you. Like, what have you got to say to them? Oh, they don't sound like you, so you can fuck off. Like, and especially, like, doing it in RTE as well, I kind of was like, yeah, fuck this kip as well. Like,
use that platform.
Like, Ryan Tuberty, can I just say, is a bitch. Jake, I told you we were going to do it, baby. He needs to be Garda vetted. Size of his neck. How's that tattoo, you prick?
So from Ryan Tuberty back to the music, I suppose.
Nice segue.
But yeah, so with Bookies, Pens and Loose Ends, obviously you were talking about the change and the thematics and the way you approached it. But I suppose what kind of inspired that change? Like what was wrong with the meme rap? You know, you have Old Town Road being the most streamed song of all time, or spent the longest at #1. What kind of change maybe for you, or what kind of...
I was never, see that's the problem, I was never as funny as Lil Nas X as well, so I couldn't get away with it. You know, I haven't got the melodies, I haven't got anything, I haven't got the fucking swag. Like, so I think I was always wanting to try to get to that stage. I was always trying to get to a stage whereby I wasn't just writing songs for song's sake, and that I could kind of branch out a little bit, I suppose, and tell a story and write a collection of tunes that weren't just, oh, here's a song, grand, here's a song, it's got nothing to do with like 5 songs have nothing to do with each other, just don't really do it for me. What about you, Seabaz?
Well, I was just going to say that I think the first time that you decided to take it to the next ground when you were like, I don't want it to be a meme, I don't want to beat the football euphemisms over the head, was when we sat down and did Home, and you were like, I want this song to be about this. And you'd sat down and you had your vision for it, and it was like the first time where I'd work with you where it was like, this is where I'm aiming and I want to hit that ballpark no matter what.
That was also like, that was time sensitive as well.
It was.
I'm saying a lot of shit in this song that needs to be out in a week.
Yeah.
So if it's not out in a week, well, goosed. We got it out in a week and all.
Did.
You know, so that's another thing as well, and that was from like the instrumentals that we created like a fucking little funk landscape on that tune, and then you take it from there and you branch out, you bring in like, because like you said, it was lo-fi, and I completely agree. It is like the tunes are a little bit lo-fi as well, but there's so many different styles kind of all blending into one that you kind of just. I really find it hard to kind of describe myself in any kind of subgenre of hip hop. I just like, it's young full of rap.
It's just kind of fun. We just have fun with it.
You gotta have fun. Although the themes in this tune, like the themes in the tunes are kind of like, oh, I spent 4 years at college, I can't get a job, oh, life is shit, oh, I'm no good at rapping, lads, oh. And then you have fucking Saipan, which is almost exactly what we weren't trying to do, but I was like, fuck it, man, you gotta do it.
Yeah, and speaking of Saipan, obviously that was kind of like an Irish outlook of kind of like self-doubt and self-confidence and everything like that. And it kind of spawns across the EP, obviously, as you were saying. But what kind of keeps you going in the midst of all that? What kind of keeps you motivated? What keeps you inspired?
It goes back to kind of seeing people releasing stuff. Like, it's like friendly competition is a great thing, but I don't find anybody to be a competitor. Like, it might be friendly competition, but it's kind of, I'll be there to support whoever I'm fucking with. Like I'll be there at the global warming launch. I'll be there for fucking like EP launches of artists that I really respect and I really care about. Because genuinely, like, I think it was like when Delhi Daydreams came out, I was like, fuck it, we need to get this thing out now because that thing is too good. Same with when Stride came out, I was like, oh my fucking, this came out of Ireland, this is mad. Like, and Global Warming was the same. As soon as that dropped, I knew how good it was, obviously. Like, I knew what Marcus Woods can do, and I know that Rebel P is the most slept on man. Just man, not rapper, just man. He's lovely, fashion sense, the beard is crazy, you know.
Facts.
It's big facts, and the man actually has no lungs. He just raps. He just raps.
He still raps.
Yeah, he just fucking goes, man. I can't imagine him when he's not rapping. He's rapping still. Like, so I look at that project and I look at like several projects that have come out and just be like, fuck it. I hope one person looks at me and goes, Jesus, man, you're not bad. I respect you. I'll take that. I'll take that over anything else.
So I suppose for both of you, when did the actual production on Bookies Pens and Loose Ends start? Was there a first tune that you can remember?
I got a MacBook and I got Ableton on trial, and we made Rotten. I made Rotten and sent it to you.
Yeah, Bookies Pens as well. It was
them at the same time.
Yeah, it was December, and he was like, I got a MacBook. Like, he never shuts up about this poxy MacBook. And he was like, yeah, here's tunes, and I was like, savage, I need tunes. And yeah, fuck it, it was December, it was around December, and
I think it was about a month after, or maybe 2 months after.
2 months after, yeah. And
just went for it, like.
Yeah, because we were trying to kind of go back and do it again, but like, fucking God knows, so many fucking moving parts. Big up the sick nanny fella in the place. So you end up just kind of just waiting around, and I'm like hitting up Seabaz, and I'm like, yo, what's the crack with the beats, bro? And then he'll hit me up with like 7 beats, and I won't respond to him for a month. Like, it gets like that. They really do be that way. So it was around December when it came about, and that was when I was in the midst of feeling very sorry for myself as well. So just kind of, it was a lovely storm of shit. Like,
yeah. And where did the actual name, finally, I suppose, of Bookies, Pens and Loose Ends come from?
I I haven't stepped foot in a Bookies in the guts about a year, I think. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm fucking lying again. I put a bet on a Grand National a few months ago. But that was it, I swear. I've not got a problem. It's fun, stop. I was going to call it something else. But then when we did the actual Bookies Pens and Loose Ends song, I couldn't help but go, that wouldn't be a bad, like it's the first line on the whole EP. It kind of works in terms of what I'm trying to say. Like it's like what the young fellas do when they have time on their hands, or they fucking bet themselves into an early grave. And loose ends, you know, like I had a lot of loose ends that needed tying.
Yeah. So when can people expect to see that on the streaming services?
All good streaming platforms. All the good ones, all
subscribe.
The patents, all the fucking middling ones. 11th of October. So you have the first 4 tunes are all produced by this man here. The last one, Milk Teeth, that's produced by the good lad Marcus Woods, who couldn't be here this evening because he's in a K-hole. And you think I'm lying as well. He fucking is, scumbag. So that'll be out on October 11th on Burner Records.
Read about it.
If you listen to it once and hate it, that's okay. I kind of hate it too, to be honest. That's what I do. When agreeing to the listening party, I'm like, really? Do I really want to play this? I barely like performing them, for fuck's sake. I swear I actually like music. But like, it was just kind of like, do I have to listen to my own songs for 15 minutes? That's grating. That's really grating. If I could take the vocals out and just leave it with your tunes, I'd like them. No? All right. I was trying to be nice.
Good people here enjoyed it.
I hope so. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here, for everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I'm merely the starter. It gets better from here, I promise you.
Finch, thanks so much for coming through.
Thank you, baby.
Do a few of these. We're gonna have up next Bobby Zatello's documentary on Irish hip hop now.
Yeah.
So everybody get comfy, get a pint, and yeah.